Okay, so I was recently hanging out with my friends and we got to talking about this subject of artificial intelligence. And I think it's such an interesting topic that most people really aren't paying attention to. And I'm fortunate to have some really good friends that are in the IT space in different aspects. I have a good partner of mine that is more on the networking side of things. I have another friend of mine who's more on the software side of things. I have another friend of mine that's deep in cybersecurity. I mean, I just have friends that are in different spaces within the IT community. And so this particular friend that I was kicking it with recently, we were talking about artificial intelligence. Okay. Now keep this in mind. Okay. And I want to preface this. I am not an expert when it comes to artificial intelligence. But one thing that I am really good at is being observant and observing the change that is happening right in front of our eyes from a technology perspective. And so my friend and we started talking about it, and I told him, I said, the crazy thing is that most people, when they think about artificial intelligence, I don't even think they realize that artificial intelligence is already here and it's already been here. And so that's what inspired me to talk about today's topic, which is artificial intelligence is already here. And it's important that you understand that, because if you don't understand that, then you're not going to position yourself for success in the future. Let's talk about it. Welcome to another episode of Career Strategies. My name is Rodney Hughes, Mr. 100%. Today's episode is being brought to you by Interview Prep University. If you need help preparing for an upcoming telephone, video, or face-to-face interview, this is a 100% free virtual training platform that's essentially designed to help you avoid the major pitfalls that cause most candidates to fail miserably when they go through the interview process. If you'd like to gain free access to this platform, head on over to www.interviewprepuniversity.com. Again, that's www.interviewprepuniversity.com. Okay, so again, here's the idea that we're working with in today's episode. Artificial intelligence is already here. Don't get it twisted. See, you know what? My brother-in-law was here at my house not long ago, and I was talking to him about it. And I was I'm talking about artificial intelligence. And the interesting thing is I said, the problem with artificial intelligence is that most people have such a distorted idea of what artificial intelligence is. Okay. And what I mean by that is that most people, when they think about artificial intelligence, they're thinking about something along the lines of what the Jetsons was, right? Or they're thinking about something along the line of what iRobot was, right? They end up referencing things that they've seen on TV or in movies. And the problem with that is that that is what an example of what can come as far as artificial intelligence. But most people don't even realize that artificial intelligence is already here. It's already been here, right? This is something that's active right now. Like, as you're listening to me on this podcast, you have to understand that it's here. And you need to be not concerned, but you definitely need to be aware that it's here. and that companies are already doing things with artificial intelligence because they're trying to replace you. Okay? That's why this is so important for you to understand that it's already here. Because people are going, from my perspective, when I look out and I look at, the way people are living, it seems almost as if people don't care about some of the changes that are taking place right now. Okay. There's a lot of different changes that are taking place from a technological standpoint, and we're not even talking about artificial intelligence, right? High level automation is dangerous for a lot of people in their careers. You'll hear a lot of quote unquote gurus in the space of cybersecurity and of IT talking about how high level automation is going to replace a lot of jobs. And that's just automation. When you think about artificial intelligence and you think about a software or a system that is able to train itself and is actually able to learn and decide and do all these things, dude, you need to be concerned. Well, not concerned. You need to be aware, okay? And you need to be paying attention to the things that are happening, okay? Because, like, for instance, every time I go to Walmart or go to Kroger, I am reminded that they are trying to replace you. Over the last 2 or 3 years, every time I go into these establishments, it seems as if I'm seeing more and more self-checkout lines. And the lines where you're actually interacting with a human being, those lines are slowly dwindling down. And one day in the near future, I would even say at this pace, within the next 5 years, a lot of major organizations may not even have cashiers anymore. Cashiers will be completely eliminated from their system, because that's what they're actively trying to do right now as we speak. Okay. And a lot of times I think that we think, like, even for the people that are paying attention, I think a lot of times we think that it's only going to impact, jobs where it's highly repetitive in nature. But there, when you throw into the mix artificial intelligence, that creates an even scarier situation. Okay? Because nobody's safe at that point. Because you can't compete as a human being with artificial intelligence. There are some levels where you might be able to compete, but all in all, there are a lot of positions that will get eliminated as artificial intelligence and just information technology as a whole continues to advance. And so I say all that to say you need to understand that artificial intelligence is here today. Okay. And so listen, when you start talking like this, a lot of times people might look at you like you're crazy, right? I bet you might be listening to me. You're like, Rodney, you sound like you tripping, bro. You sound delusional. And so I decided to do just a little bit of research, and I just want to share some of this information with you so you can understand what I mean when I say artificial intelligence is here. It's already been here, and it's only advancing aggressively as we speak. Okay? Understand this. I'm gonna share some information with you, okay, that you can look up, that you can vet. I didn't make this up, okay, but I think it's important for you to know. Let's start here. In 1950, okay, there was something called the Turing test. Okay, this is where a computer scientist named Alan Turing proposes a test for machine intelligence. If a machine can trick humans into thinking it is human, then it has intelligence. And boom, the idea, at least the documented idea of artificial intelligence is born right there. Okay. Now, and again, at least Alan Turing is the one that's giving credit. Maybe some other people were thinking about it, but maybe it just wasn't documented. It's not well known. But for sure, as a whole, this is where they're saying the starting point is. Okay. 5 years later, 1955, AI is born. Okay. They're saying AI is born in 1955. It is currently 2019. Goodness gracious. Okay. It's currently 2019. They're saying that in 1955, that AI was born. It says the term artificial intelligence is coined by computer scientist John McCarthy to describe the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. So it took a 5-year period for them to go from an idea essentially to really kind of, starting the process of artificial intelligence. Okay. In 1961, Unimate, the first industrial robot, Unimate, goes to work at GM, replacing humans on the assembly line. See, when you listen to people nowadays, they're talking about, artificial intelligence is going to replace jobs, right? IT, technology is going to replace jobs. Understand, it's already been replacing jobs. This was in 1961. Let's move forward 3 more years. 1964, Eliza, pioneering chatbot developed by Joseph Weizenbaum at MIT, holds conversations with humans. This is 1964. Okay. In 1966, Shaky, the first electronic person from Stanford. Shaky is a general purpose mobile robot that reasons about its own actions. Okay. Robots. The things you saw on iRobot, the movie. Yeah. This was 1966. And then they go into a period called the AI winter. Okay. Many false starts and dead ends leave AI out in the cold. Okay. So it was this period of time, a little over a decade. Actually way more than a decade. I'm sorry. A couple of decades go by, and artificial intelligence isn't really developing that much, right? There were a lot of things that were going on, but nothing really significant happens. Then in 1997, Deep Blue, a chess playing computer from IBM, defeats world chess champion Garry Kasparov. This is 1997. Okay. Some of you that are listening to me speak right now weren't even born in 1997. Just keep that in mind. In 1998, Kismet, Cynthia, I think it's pronounced Brazil, at MIT introduces Kismet, an emotionally intelligent robot insofar as it detects and responds to people's feelings. So in 1998, they had a robot that could actually respond to people's feelings. Then in 1999, Abo is created. Sony launches first consumer robot pet dog, Abo, which stands for AI robot, with skills and personality that develops over time. Do you understand that? Okay. Doesn't seem that significant, but if you think about it, it's like, wow, dude, all that took place since 1950. Then in 2002, now this is where things start to really kind of crank up. Okay. In 2002, the Roomba is created. This is the first mass-produced autonomous robotic vacuum cleaner from iRobot. There's a company actually called iRobot, okay, which learns to navigate and clean homes, okay? That was 2002. In 2011, Siri is created. Apple integrates Siri, an intelligent virtual assistant with a voice interface, into the iPhone 4S. Okay? I'm telling you, technology is not slowing down for anybody. That very same year, okay, this is where it starts to get crazy, bro. Okay, in 2011, Watson, IBM's question answering computer, Watson wins first place on popular $1 million prize television show, quiz show, Jeopardy. You can look it up. Go on YouTube and watch, because in that particular episode, when it ends up winning first place, it was going against Ken, who for a lot of the people who watch Jeopardy, they remember Ken, who was like this brilliant guy who like just continued to win and win and win. But when it came against Watson, IBM's artificial intelligent robot, it didn't stand a chance. Okay. In 2014, Eugene Gooseman, I believe that's how that's pronounced, a chat robot, passes the Turing test with a third of judges believing Eugene is human. Okay. Now this is getting real interesting. When technology can actually convince you that it's human, understand what that means now. That was in 2014. Then that same year, Alexa was created. Amazon launches Alexa. You see Alexa everywhere now, right? It's an intelligent virtual assistant with a voice interface that completes shopping tasks, right? So you could just say, hey, Alexa, buy me a deck of cards. And Alexa will instantly go and purchase it. See how crazy that is? Then in 2016, now this is where my mind was like, poof. In 2016, Tay, Microsoft's chatbot Tay, goes rogue on social media, making inflammatory and offensive racist comments. Okay? This is a chatbot that is operated through artificial intelligence. Now, why would it do that? Huh? See, artificial intelligence has the ability to learn much faster than most human beings are able to learn. And that freaked me out a little bit. This was in 2016. It's 3 years later right now. 2019. This happened in 2016. Okay. In 2017, Alphago, Google's AI Alphago beats the world champion, I believe it's pronounced Key G, in a complex board game of Go, notable for its vast number, I forgot, I don't know what that says, of possible positions. So it's obviously some type of really difficult game, and Google was able to create artificial intelligence that ended up beating the best player in the world at it. Okay. Now, I went through all of this for a reason. Okay. I went through this to help you understand something very important. Artificial intelligence is already here. Okay. But more importantly, it's already been here. And there are companies that are working diligently to just kick artificial intelligence into hyperdrive. Okay. And just like what, the most concerning thing out of all these stats that I just shared with you was the one from 2016 to me. The Tay, Microsoft's chat robot or chatbot. You know, when it goes rogue, what the hell do you mean it went rogue? Right? When it goes rogue on social media and it starts making inflammatory and offensive racist comments, that should be a little bit concerning to you, right? Because it's obviously learning something about us as human beings, right? And that also goes to show you that although these companies are diligently working towards creating artificial intelligence, it's already proving that it can't be controlled. And yet that's not slowing companies down whatsoever. I'm an executive recruiter. I'm working with some of the top businesses in the world right now as we speak. And one of the catch things that all of these companies seem to be interested in at this point is machine learning, called, AKA big data, right? And artificial intelligence, and creating algorithms for artificial intelligence purposes. Huge companies are already like getting deep into this space. Okay. And the deeper they get into it, the more at risk you are from a career perspective. Okay. Because again, keep in mind, they are trying to replace you. If a company can make a one-time purchase that could end up making up for 100 people, and they would never have to pay benefits on that software, they'll never have to deal with the headaches of that come along with managing groups of people, right? And if it just has something that can work all day long and pump out all day long and never get tired and always be consistent, companies that can afford that kind of technology will pay for it in a heartbeat. And the proof is already in the pudding. Just like I said, just go to your local grocery store and look at what's happening. These are companies that have the resources to dive into technology and leverage some of the technology out there. Now, I'm not saying that I think that we shouldn't continue to advance from a technological standpoint. The point of this podcast is to help you understand that we are moving forward from a technological standpoint, whether you like it or not. This stuff is already happening, okay? And it's been happening. So what you have to understand as it relates to your career is you need to not be delusional about what's going on, and you need to be paying attention to the advancements that are being made in the marketplace so that you don't look up one day and realize that you missed the boat and realize that you wasted your time, okay? Beating down one path that was destined for failure, okay? That's like people at one point in time used to buy vinyl a lot, right? Vinyl records. And vinyl records lasted for a long time. And there were people that have made millions, maybe even billions off of vinyl records. And then as technology advanced, in a very short time frame, people who were overly committed to vinyl ended up losing their businesses if they chose not to change with the time. Blockbuster, right? Blockbuster was huge. Blockbuster was everywhere. They did not change with the time. They were under a false belief that people were going to continue to do what they had been doing regardless of what happens. That was a false way of looking at it. I don't know if they were aware or if they were just being stubborn and didn't want to change. Either or, it doesn't matter. The reality is they didn't change and they're no longer in business. What you need to understand, and what I want you to take from this message today, is that you got to be cognizant of what's going on in the world. You got to understand that artificial intelligence is already here. And the more they continue to advance with artificial intelligence, we as human beings, well, I mean, we don't really stand a chance. You know, just from a knowledge perspective, from a mental horsepower perspective, we don't really even stand a chance. I mean, that's why if you do research, I want you to look this up. Look up Neuralink. Okay, Neuralink. What's the founder of Tesla? What is his name? Elon Musk. Elon Musk is known for Tesla, you know, starting PayPal and all this stuff, right? Look at what he's doing with Neuralink. His idea is that essentially, and I don't want to speak as if I'm, you know, an expert on what his idea is, but my understanding of what his idea is that the best solution we can essentially hope for is that once artificial intelligence is like developed to a certain level, the best thing we can hope for is to, in some way, shape, fashion, or form, merge with the artificial intelligence that's being created. So he has this company called Neuralink, where he's trying to develop this mesh that would essentially, I guess, go over our brain, and then we would be able to, you know, leverage that technology to sync with artificial intelligence. Listen, I can't even really explain it that deep. Just look it up for yourself, okay? You gotta be aware of these things that are happening. That's my whole point, okay? And you need to be thinking strategically now, okay? I've said it once before, and I'm about to share with you my book, but I wrote a book, my second book. I hate writing, first off, okay? Let's start there. I am not a writer type, okay? But I became, when my son was born, I became extremely driven to teach him skills that will help him to overcome competition when he becomes my age. Because he's going to be living in a completely different world than the world we're in right now as we speak. Okay. And so that's what inspired me to write my book, my second book, because I'm thinking strategically. I know that as technology continues to advance, and as more and more people start to lose jobs, and as more and more people that are going to colleges end up taking, you know, courses where everybody's essentially going to end up being highly skilled labor coming out of college. I believe that's the route that we're headed down. Things are already fierce right now as we speak, but they're going to become absolutely insane over the next 15, 20, 30 years. Okay. And the people who are going to have an advantage are the people who know how to systematically overcome their competition. And so that's why I wrote my second book, right? Because I'm aware of what's already happening right now as we speak, what has already happened, and where I believe things are going to end up going in the future, which is why I said, you know what? I want to jump in front of this, and I want to have something documented so that when my son gets to be my age, I can say, son, read this. You do this, you'll be good. You'll be golden. Okay. So again, it's already here. It ain't going nowhere. Okay. Now you can be stubborn, or you can choose to be ignorant and not pay attention to what's going on out here. Okay. And you're going to feel a lot of pain as a result, or you can take heed to what I'm talking about. Right. And matter of fact, you don't have to trust what I'm talking about, because look, I'm not an expert when it comes to artificial intelligence. I'll be the first one to tell you, but there's a lot of good people out there online that you can go look at and they'll tell you. Okay. Don't believe me. Go look it up for yourself. See what's happening. I promise you it'll start to freak you out a little bit, but after you learn a little bit about what's going on, don't freak out so much and start thinking strategically. Now that you know where technology is headed, try to position yourself so that you won't be as impacted. Or better yet, but try to position yourself so that you'll actually benefit as the changes start to take place or continue to take place. All right. Listen, hopefully you got great value out of today's episode. I want you to pick up a copy of my book, The Ugly Truth About Getting Hired, How to Land the Job of Your Dreams Regardless of the Competition. This book is all about helping you by teaching you a step-by-step system and strategies, ideas, and concepts that are designed to help you eliminate your competition and be able to position yourself as the ideal candidate of choice anytime that you're going through an interview process. If you'd like to learn more about it, go ahead and head on over to www.theuglytruthbook.com. Again, www.theuglytruthbook.com. You can place an order there. When you place your order, immediately after ordering the physical book, you'll gain access to a free downloadable version of the book, and you'll be able to jump into the content immediately. All right. Again, that's www.theuglytruthbook.com. Listen, thanks so much for checking out this episode. Again, I hope you got great value. If you did, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and make sure that you share this episode with as many people as you possibly can. And I will see you in the next episode. Take care.